What's up everyone, Zach Seif here. Today we're going to take a look at this really cool EverSync in-ear monitoring system from Cloud Vocal. Before we go any further, this is technically a sponsored video, however they are not paying me to make it. Cloud Vocal reached out to me directly asking if I wanted to check out their in-ear monitoring system and do a review. I'm not being compensated monetarily for it, however I am able to keep this. All thoughts and opinions in today's video are those of my own. They are not seeing this video before it's released, and I will go over the things I like as well as the things that I dislike. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with what an in-ear monitoring system is. Basically, it is a unit that consists of a transmitter and a receiver. It's kind of like a wireless microphone or wireless guitar, except instead of you sending audio somewhere, you're receiving audio. So you can take an output from a mixing board and plug it into here, and then it sends signal to this pack that you wear, so then you can hear the mix wherever you are on stage instead of relying on floor monitors or wedges or other sources of audio monitoring. So this allows you to walk around stage and have a mix sent to a pair of earbuds. Super simple. So why are we checking out this one from Cloud Vocal? Well, as someone who's used the bottom of the barrel as well as the best on the market, I have a pretty good first-hand knowledge base and a first-hand experience of using units like this. And this one struck my interest in particular because it's meant to kind of fit on your guitar pedal board. It's the size of a pedal, clicks on and off like a pedal, and just is super simple to transport and carry in a gig bag. So today we're going to do an unboxing, go through all of the features and specs, and we're also going to test it out to see how easy it is and see if it's the right system for you. So let's get started. So we'll take a look at the unit itself first. It's taped, so we'll cut that real quick. I gotta say, I like the packaging so far. The gold font on the kind of like rustic black looks pretty cool. Open that up. And we have exactly what we'd expect to see. We have the receiver. This is what goes on your belt, your pants, or bra strap, or whatever it is you use to adjust and hold your wireless units. So that's where you get the signal from the unit to your headphones. And then here we have the transmitter unit. This is what you're gonna plug a split from an in-ear split, or maybe if you're just monitoring yourself, you'll just plug your guitar unit into this, and this will send signal from your mixing rack, pedal board, wherever, to the receiver so that you can hear this while walking around on stage. Corner over here, we have pretty decent quality USB-C cable, and then we have the power adapter, which has different adapters for different regions. This is pretty cool. I like when companies do that. We have a cool little sticker, quick start guide, and then we have the product manual. So initial thoughts, it seems to be made of a really hard kind of plastic. So this feels like it would be pretty safe on the ground, especially since the mute switch here is built kind of like a guitar pedal. And then you have a little rotary knob to scroll through menus. You press it in. And then you have different toggles here, radio switch and an audio switch. You have your main input here. This is what you're gonna receive from an aux send or something similar from a mixer or front of house, so that you can hear your mix. There's also a second set of inputs. So in theory, you could split your guitar or keyboard signal or whatever into one of these inputs and then receive a second input from another source. They also have an 1/8 inch here. So if you're just at home and you need to hear your computer audio or backing tracks or whatever, you can run that into there as well. So you have two inputs and you can control and balance them inside the unit itself. Then you also have the two outputs. You have a regular through in case you want to pass this into something else, which is not really necessary in my opinion. And then you have your XLR DI out. But again, you're not really sending audio from a in-ear system like this. You're mostly just using it for receiving, but it works in case you just need to hear yourself or maybe one or two instruments on stage, and then you still need to pass that signal back to front of house. So a scenario where something like this would really come in handy is if you're not using a full in-ear mix on stage, or you're the only person in your band using it. You can plug your modeling unit or keyboard or set of drum mics into this, whatever you're using to monitor yourself. And then you can send it into the EverSync so you can hear yourself through your receiver pack. And then you can also send that signal to front of house, because not every system or setup has multiple outputs. So that's definitely where this would come in handy. It's the size of a guitar pedal, so this would be cool to kind of just put on your board, and then you can use it to monitor yourself. You can also accept another mix input from somewhere else on stage and be good to go. When it comes to the receiver, it just kind of feels like a slightly cheaper plastic, kind of similar to the Line 6 G30. We have our volume adjuster here. So of course that's all the way off on the minus, that's all the way up on the plus. You have buttons for pairing, you have your power switch here, which I haven't charged my unit, but it does come just slightly charged from the factory. And then you have all your different features and stuff like that. You also have an aux in, so if you're just using this at home, you can plug in a phone or MP3 or a send from your computer or mixing board and be good to go on that. So it's pretty small. It's about half the size of my Sennheiser unit. Fits pretty comfortable in the hand and would be really easy to store and take to a gig. All right, so let's move on to the headphones. These are the EC5s. Again, same packaging as the unit itself. And it comes in a pretty nice carrying case. This is pretty cool. And those are the buds. It comes with different earpieces for different sized ears. And I gotta say, off the bat, these are the nicest looking, like, generic mold in-ears I think I've ever seen. They have the outer plate. You can see the single driver speaker in there. Plenty of cable length, and they're clearly marked left and right. So now all that's left to do is to plug all this in and see how it actually sounds. You guys could take one quick second in the middle of this video and just hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment with your thoughts so far. It helps out the channel more than you know. Really appreciate all of the feedback and the support thus far. Let's continue with the rest of the video. The EverSync Wireless In-Ear Monitoring system from Cloud Vocal boasts a couple really cool specs and features that other units I've tried in the past do not have. Starting off with where it operates in the 5.8 gigahertz frequency range, so it doesn't interfere with the other wireless units that you'll have on stage. You should have no issues integrating this into your existing setup without having to change or alter anything that you're already using. The audio quality is 24-bit at 48 kilohertz, which is professional recording standard, on top of having less than 5 milliseconds of latency, which is the threshold that humans can hear latency. This unit also has 4 independent channels, which means you can run up to 4 of these systems on stage without any interference or issues. The receiver itself has a built-in limiter, which means you'll never clip your input and you won't blow out your hearing. It also features a pretty cool 1/8" aux input, so that you can plug in another music device if you're jamming at home, or if you are doing a solo act and you need to run backing tracks to both yourself and the front of house monitors, you can do that with this unit. One of the other cool features is the USB audio out, which means you can take the audio that you're receiving and send it straight back into a recording console, or you can use it to send it into an interface for streaming. Moving on to the EC5 headphones, these things barely weigh anything. They are super comfortable. They're a full range, flat response, single driver, 10mm transducer earbud, which means you're getting 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. It's a 16 ohm impedance headphone, which means it'll work with most systems. It can support a max SPL of 109 dB, which if you're listening to music at 109 dB, you're already causing permanent hearing damage, so these things will be perfectly fine on any stage of any size. It's got 51 inches of cable length for even the tallest of people, and the cable itself is replaceable in case it ever breaks. So now we're gonna demo the unit and see how you set it up. So I'm gonna simply plug the transmitter unit into my power source here. And that powers up right off the bat. You see a little cloud vocal signal. And it's showing me that I'm receiving signal. So what I'm doing is I'm sending audio from my interface, which I'm currently speaking into. And as you can see, as I talk louder, the signal is also going up as well. So the input is working as intended. The reason I'm using input 2 is because I want to see how it sounds when I send music from my computer into this. So now we got to turn this on. So on the side here, press and hold that. And LED turns on here. When it is a green light, the volume is being limited, which is great. And it's a solid light, which means it is paired. So now what I'm going to do is put on the EC5 headbuds, and we'll see what it sounds like. So the trick with in-ear monitors is you want to run them kind of like from the back side so that they clip in properly. So you do something like that, and then you just put it in and you loop it around. So far they feel pretty comfy. You know, they're not a perfect fit because, again, they're generic molds, and as I try and like move my face around, you know, it comes out a little bit, but I also haven't messed around with different earpieces, which this unit does come with a lot of them. But just to get first impressions, you know, pretty decent fit. So I'm gonna play music and we'll see what happens. Put on something I'm familiar with. That's a good way to test headphones, is pick a song that you're familiar with. So I'm pretty familiar with the mix of Defender by As I Lay Dying. So I'm gonna play that and see what happens. So I'll start slowly turning the volume. Yep, so the audio is being sent. I'm gonna turn up the send on my interface. And they sound like in-ear monitors. It's very flat, very neutral. There's no bass boost. There's a lot of mid-range presence so that you can hear the vocals, and the guitar is very clear, but you can still hear the thud of the kick and the punch. Snare drum's very clear. The cymbals aren't overpowering. So these are very typical single driver headphones. And as you can see, you can adjust the input volume for your different inputs, which is really cool. So I can max it out, which is pretty cool. You know, and it shows me if I want just input 1, just input 2, or if I want both of them, which is really cool. Radio button helps you to pair other units. You can change your channels, A, B, C, D. So overall, I'd say it's a pretty decent setup. And that just about wraps up today's video. I gotta say, for the price point, which as of the timing of this video is $399 US, I think this is the best middle-of-the-road in-ear monitoring system available. Until you have the cash to dish out $1,000+ on a Sennheiser or a Shure system, this is going to be your best other brand option. I would recommend this over the X Vive or the Nux or the Galaxy Audio, all of which I've used or have had people tell me their experiences about, and I think this one is the most reliable. It's the most versatile. It runs on the 5.8 gigahertz band instead of the 2.4, so you don't have to worry about that interference, and I think this is just built really well. You know, I would not want this to be thrown at me at all. The receiver is nice and small and just kind of clips wherever, as I mentioned earlier. And the headphones that you use are really going to determine the quality of the audio. This has the 24-bit 48 kilohertz audio in it already, so your experience is going to be really solely based on the quality of the earbuds that you use. The included EC5s are okay. I think they're better than the dual driver Shure 425s that I used to own. However, nothing compares to custom molded in-ear monitors. So if you think this is the right unit for you, click the link below, go check it out, show them some love, and until next time everyone, keep on practicing and keep on following your dreams.